Hello, my name's Elvis. I'm from Manchester College, doing TV and film productions. Today I've got a story called Forgotten Passion. Basically a brief summary about the story, description about, it's based in the North East in present day. The story follows the challenges and obstacles of a young music prodigy who has to go through a few things in the industry to make it. After being involved in an accident, it leaves him with some mental injuries that he has to overcome to get to where he wants to be in life. It's between 5-10 minutes film, set in Manchester, like I said, so it could be shot in Manchester College. The theme's basically man versus himself, the triumph over adversity. Characters. The main protagonist, Brandon, is a young man in his early 20s who gets involved with the wrong crowd after losing his dad at a young age, which causes him to lose his way and give up on his music. Jane's Brandon's mother. She's a quirky, loving and caring mother who has to try to do her best in bringing up Brandon as a single mother. She feels Brandon is out of control and fears he has no authority over her. And Stephen is Brandon's best friend, who he's been friends with since he moved to Manchester. He's also in his early 20s and is a little shy and quiet compared to Brandon, and is always first to point out the bad ideas or plans that Brandon always has. And Victor is a man in his early 40s. He's a music conductor / mentor at a special music school that Brandon meets when he was taken there when he was younger. His method of mentoring are a little controversial and can sometimes be a bit too pushy with his students. Lewis is also one of Brandon's friends. He's also in his early 20s, probably one of the oldest in the friendship, and is more of a leader of the gang and a very rude and sarcastic character. Storyline and ideas. The story is about a violin prodigy who lost his way after the death of his dad, which made him lose his way and give up on his music after his after his mum made him move away after his dad died. Through getting in with the wrong crowd, he ended up selling drugs on the local streets, and one day was involved in a car accident which left him with some mental injuries and would have an impact on his life. Some of the symptoms of the injuries were severe hallucinations and also hearing voices in his head that sometimes seemed pretty realistic to him. So with the help of his mentor, who is one of the voices in his head, he manages to find his way back to the music, create some beautiful music. So the idea came from an original idea that I had. One of my friends who's doing music with a producer, they made quite a bit of music, and then the producer ended up taking all the music for himself and just making money from it without obviously the other guy being involved. But later on I had to change it a bit because it was just going to be a short story and I couldn't develop it enough, so I had to change the storyline. So like I said, it's set in Manchester, so filming could include Manchester College studios or any of the rooms in there. I had a couple of other scenes that will possibly be filmed on location, such as the event hall and hospital entrance, as well as the school reception. I would like it to be filmed using full coverage to get enough angles for the edit process. So obviously shots such as close-ups over the head, shoulders, and shots that will help tell the story the best way as I want it to be told for the audience, and the character of the physical movements that might be important to the story. I was inspired to do this story as I think, shot well, it could be a really good short film that could attract a wide group of audience. I also liked the development in my story and how it comes together well through using the 3 acts method. The most challenging thing I found with the task was how the kind of dialogue to use that would just not in the story development. And that's the end of the presentation. We have some questions, please.
Yeah, you said your story initially was inspired by people, your friend, people you knew. Is another reason why you changed it? Aside from it, you're not being able to develop it enough.
Yeah.
Because it was like a sensitive topic, because obviously they could know that it was about them, and if they didn't like that, or
No, not necessarily because it would have been a sensitive topic. Mostly because it probably would have been like a 2-minute film because there wasn't really much development in that story. Like I said, it was just basically they make the music and then he takes it and that was it. So I couldn't really have any twists and turns like I did in this one.
No.
What kind of feelings do you want the film to give off?
I think I'd want it to give the feeling of like never say never. Do you know what I mean? The idea of like not thinking maybe you're too old to do something that you once loved as a kid, and just obviously get people thinking about the past really and when they were younger.
Have you watched any films that are like that? That have inspired you or anything?
To be fair, for this idea, one of the films that, well, not the whole film, but I watched a few scenes from that inspired me a bit is what you call a Fight Club. Obviously with the voiceovers and the voices in his head and whatnot, and obviously that leads him through certain situations and whatnot. So yeah, that's what I got some of the ideas from there.
Yeah. Is most of your story, does your story basically develop using internal dialogue mainly? Is that how what drags your story along, or is there external sources such as other characters that drive your characters sort of learning process? And
I think the main characters, most of the story and like obviously the things I want the audience to know is in the dialogue, like you said.
Yeah.
And there are a couple of other characters that come in, but they don't really offer much in a sense of the dialogue wise. So.
Right. Yeah. What sort of I know you mentioned some camera angles and shots that you'll get, but what sort of filming techniques would you imply to give it the sort of feel you want?
If it was up to me, I would like it to be shot using full coverage just to get obviously your natural angles and like I said, to make it easier for the editors.
Yeah. Would you try and add a gritty feel to it, or would it be more like a panorama, or would you shoot it more cinematically?
I haven't really thought that much into that because I think that's probably the job I would dedicate to the DOP if I was to shoot it.
No, you should have to. Right, 7.5. Right, I think you covered a lot in this, but would you say any classical stories? Because they say there's only so many stories out there, and everything else is just like a development of that, or set in different places, different characters. Would you say this idea is remnant of the original and classic tales, like, or would you say this is an entirely new story that's been you're telling here?
I would probably say it's a new story. I mean, like I said, there are some parts and maybe some even some dialogue that is obviously been inspired by other things, but I think the story itself is the original story. And like I said, if I was to shoot the whole film and maybe adding the extra scenes that I had to take out, just obviously shorten it down, then it would be.
Are the is the setting, i.e. location, Manchester, etc., is that key to this, or do you think this story could be translated all over the world into different areas?
I think in regards to the shooting, it wouldn't be necessarily after Manchester. Basically, like I said, it's based in the northeast, so anywhere in the northeast of England could suffice. And main thing that I would need would obviously be the northern accent.
Yeah, but I mean, would this story?
Yeah.
Would someone in China understand it? Obviously, it was if they spoke English. Would they understand it, or would this be, is this more of a local thing that only happens here, or?
No, I think this could be globally understood because, like I said, the storyline it's like based in someone who's gone through a lot over the years and made him forget about what he used to be like when he was a kid. And I think a lot of people can relate to that around the world, not just obviously in the northeast of England.
Right. Did you encounter any ethical issues during your filming? Well, during your research and development of your script?
I think probably the other thing I would say was in the beginning of the scene, the first scene, where, like I said, there's been an accident, so he's been brought into the hospital with his mum there crying and whatnot, and I thought that might be a bit of a touchy subject for like obviously some of the audience. So I think the only thing that I thought would be best to do is to avoid showing the accident itself
Yeah.
and just going straight to the hospital scenes and then.
Right.
How do you think you get a budget?
Say that again,
How
sorry?
do you think you get a budget?
Crowdfunding.
How?
Yeah.
Um,
Would you ask people, like other producers or little companies and stuff like that, say you'd sponsor them something?
yeah. Because like I said, I think like done right with the right people and shot the right way, this could be a film that could, I don't know, maybe be uploaded for what you call it, any sort of events or awards and stuff.
Yeah.
So obviously, if people are willing to sponsor and help us with that, then they could in the end gain something from it, promotion wise.
Right. So is that where you intend to this film to go? Film festivals, or would you say it's a film for TV, or that's?
No, personally, not to sound big or anything, but I think shot right with the right people and maybe even any changes that needs to be done to the dialogue, it could be a festival film.
Right. 11 minutes. Let's wrap up.
Right, so thank you very much and yeah, see you soon.